How you doing, everyone? This is Faust and I am here with a few of my buddies, and we're going to be talking about 40K, and let's introduce them.
Hello, I am Sage, first of his name of House Chittick, bane of all alcohol everywhere, and Eldar, dedicated player. Every other player sucks.
And I am Connie, here to translate what Sage just said as he's an alcoholic.
Yeah, so Connie is our buddy here. She is going to be our every person. And so anything that Connie talks about is she's our pretty much our straight man, our every person. So Connie is not super into 40K, so we can actually get a realistic view from
the
that.
only intro Connie has ever had in the 40K is what I have forced upon her without her consent.
So basically, I know that the Codex Astartes exists and that the Tower Space Communists.
Yes.
That's about all I got.
All right. And right now with this video, we are going to be talking about crazy things and fun things we find in the lore. And one major piece is definitely going to be about Yorick. So definitely get ready for that one.
So my ideal is, how did Yorick die? Now, I have a problem with Warhammer 40K's retconning. I've been playing this game since first edition, and they have no problem backstories anytime they want. So to me, I choose the ones I like. So let's get into, how did Yorick die?
Well, the fact is, in the lore, just saying that the lore portion is, yes, Yorick died because of Angron went there and killed him.
So is that the modern lore? Like
yes,
today?
That is the current lore today, right now. It was just made about 6 months ago. But the thing is that Yorick is pretty much unkillable because of the orc's belief he's unkillable, and he is on Armageddon, that where there's a giant orc wog, and with the wog field it changes reality. So therefore, the orcs believe he can't die. While he's in the wall field, he cannot die.
That's still the funniest shit to me. It's just like, oh, he can't die, and now he can't die.
Literally.
Now, see, the way I differ is, I think the orcs believe Yorick cannot be killed. Mm-hmm. Nobody can force an action upon him and end his life. That's what they believe.
So what you're saying is he could still die of embarrassment if he peed his pants.
Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying. I don't think that would embarrass Yorick enough to kill him, but you're on the right vein. I think cancer could kill him. I think an extremely bad session of explosive diarrhea could cause us damage.
Just like Genghis Khan.
To take his life. Maybe he has a penchant for being fucked by stallions. I don't know. But
well, they do have some large cocks, for sure.
My point is actually that wouldn't work because he'd still be killed by something. That's what I think it works. The orcs believes he can't be killed. I don't believe the orcs believe that he can't die. That's a different thing.
True.
So to me, what?
So if you want to become immortal, all you have to do is fight off a bunch of orcs until they're like, we can't kill this guy.
Yes,
literally.
That's lore.
Yeah.
They've stated that explicitly. So my ideal that orcs said he can't be killed. He dies of natural causes.
Okay.
Ultimate flex against the entire orc empire.
But just with 40K and everything, that is an anticlimactic way to die. And with main characters like that, they don't want them to die in an anticlimactic way because you know how GW is.
Okay, so I'm gonna contradict the statement that it is anticlimactic for him to die of old age, just because the literal tagline of 40K, one of the few things I know about this game, is in the grim darkness of the far future, something war, yada yada.
There is only war.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. And the laughter of dark gods.
So like somebody dying to a cause that isn't war or war related is badass in a world where there is only war. At least that's my opinion. Again, I'm the outside view here.
And that's why we've got you here. And that's what I agree with.
Yes.
It is the ultimate flex in the world of 40K, the grim, dark future where there is only war. How did you die? In my sleep, peacefully.
Yes. Well,
Exactly. See, I love that smile on your
Yes.
face. That's what I'm talking about.
Well,
that is the flex.
My thing is that Yark should have, yes, died, but then after Yark died, what should have happened? He should have ascended to a living saint at the same level as Celestia, but instead of him being a warrior, is that he's more of a blessing or a protection living saint. So that's a level I wish he would have went with. And the other way is I wish he didn't die, so he would have been Yarick,
Existing
Lord
to
Solar.
bless others.
Well, being the Lord Solar, being the highest ranked person in the lore or for the Imperial Guard. But then they have this guy that's called Leontis that we've never heard of, that they literally just made for the model. It's like, why could you not take an existing character?
They didn't make him just for the model. They made him just to pay the author.
So random question. You said he should have died and then become a living saint. Do you have to die to become a living saint?
So far, yes, is that the 3 living saints.
It's a
did
40K
die.
thing.
Yeah.
You have to die, and then the
you
Emperor
resurrect
resurrects you, and you are now a living saint.
Okay, so
excuse me.
Now,
I'm pretty sure, though, you have to have been declared a saint before you die.
No.
You don't?
It is because Celestia is the account
This
with
is 40K
Celestia.
lore.
this is
Okay,
where my lack of 40K knowledge is like really confusing. I thought the Emperor was just like a geriatric old man stuck in a chair who couldn't do anything and was asleep forever.
He's a chaos god.
Well, technically, yes, he's a chaos god that's against all the other chaos gods. So he is the god of humanity, but he is a god
He's
of the
a
warp.
chaos god.
Yeah, he is a god of the warp. So yes. Okay, so I am an Imperial player. Sage here is an Eldar player, and Connie
Eldar
has
for
some
life.
Tau.
Yeah, I have assembled a couple of Tau figurines because it's really fun to stick the models together.
All right, so hold on. Connie is not a Tau player. Connie is a space communist.
Well,
Hold on. If she ever played Warhammer, she would play Tau.
Well,
Is that an accurate description?
If I play, yeah, of course I play Tau. I asked which faction has railguns.
Well, Sage, hence the reason why I said you're an Eldar player and Connie has Tau.
Yeah, I'm agreeing. We're on the same team.
Exactly. But anyways, back to the lore portion.
Okay.
Is so to answer Sage is that the one that most people know of is Saint Celestia, the living saint. Okay, she was a Repentia. It's pretty much females who screwed up while they're being a sister in battle, and they are
such a daddy such a daddy BDSM fetish.
It
oh
is.
My God!
Remember, kids. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned is not the same as sorry, Daddy, I've been naughty.
Hold on, I 100% disagree with you. I think it's the exact same thing.
Very
Tell it to a
similar.
priest in a confessional and see what they say.
Tell it to the 12-year-old in front of the priest.
Well, remember, not all of them are chomos, okay?
It's there.
It's there, yes, it's
I
there,
still
but
think
not
that
all
they're
of them are
not the same
chomos.
thing, and I think you've proved my point. Moving on.
Moving on,
Okay,
is that
so
with,
Saint Celestine.
okay, is that she was a Repentia, so she screwed up as a sister of battle, so therefore she was given a large chainsword and stripped of everything and pretty much running into battle, butt
Including her
naked,
clothes.
with besides some of the what's that called, the purity seals covering her naughty bits, and going into battle and
Strips
trying to
of
kill
paper.
enough strips of paper to
they
kill
make-
enough people so she could
We're not
repent
joking.
herself.
This is exactly
Okay,
the
hold on.
story.
Did they make a model for this?
Yes, they have hundreds.
There's cosplay of it
Yes.
that I swear
Okay.
to you is awesome fat material.
Okay, well, since we're talking about that, I will put up many of the cosplays up there. Okay, but
listen,
continuing.
Hold
Cosplays
it.
have nothing to do with Games Workshop.
Well, hold on.
Oh, wait, hold on. The cosplays I'm talking about, you could never do at a convention.
Yes.
Ever.
Yeah,
Well,
it's too
wait a
much of the
minute.
female anatomy.
There's other
exposed.
conventions.
Okay.
No, seriously. They would stride into battle with nothing, and I promise you, a helmet.
Except for, no, a chainsword.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
Okay.
A helmet, a enormous fucking chainsword, boots, and strips of paper.
I mean,
That's
to be
the
fair,
only thing they would wear in the
To
battle.
be fair, if I was told I could only have one article of clothing, I would pick boots because I need to walk, damn it.
Well,
I agree with you. If I'm
the one-
going in a battlefield, that's the most important article.
But the other thing too is that there are several models that where literally all they have is strips of paper covering their naughty bits. They don't even have shoes. All they have is a chainsword, piece of paper
those are
cutting naughty
barefoot?
bits,
I thought
and going.
the
Yeah.
boots was part of the lore.
So some of them, yeah,
Okay, so some of them didn't even have boots.
yeah, some of the models.
Yeah, that's how sexist the shit gets.
Interesting.
Now, we could do an entire, probably should, about how sexist Game Workshop is, but I fear if we did that, we'd probably repeat every other fucking podcast.
Yes, we'll probably get on that. So let's actually talk about stuff that people love to hear about
Yeah,
instead
let's
of
do
preaching
that.
to them. Let's not
do
preach to you people.
Let's do
Let's
that.
actually entertain you.
See, I'm agreeing. Nobody wants to
yes.
hear it again.
All right. Okay, so with that is she was a repentant and then she died. But because her faith was so strong, the emperor chose her. And then about 50 years later after she died, she was resurrected as a living
was
saint.
that? I thought she died in the Battle of Acadia.
No.
I've got to read the book. I've got to read The Fall of
No,
Acadia.
she died like 50, well, she actually died about 200 years ago from the fall of Acadia.
And she was brought back
And
on.
then 50 years later after
Oh.
she died, she was brought back.
Okay, so
And then she started, and she was living like in a body, but she was ascended, like an ascended body. And then she started wearing the armor of Saint Catherine, and then it was
from
pretty
what
much.
I understand, she just went by the exact same rules of the Chaos Demons when they materialize in this realm.
Roughly, well, they do somewhat of the same principle, but they are chaos demons for the Imperium, which is called living saints.
Something, Emperor is a chaos god, I guess.
Dark side something, yes.
I know. It's one of those things like everybody, when you're outside of the game looking in, yes, the Emperor is a Chaos God. When you're in the game, every character is, oh my God, no! So that's the...
It's a joke. Everyone does know that, but it's a joke in the community, is that if you're an Imperium player, you're against that, and I'm an Imperium player, so stop your heresy, Eldar!
The Imperium is like, he's not a Chaos God, he is the one true God. That shall bring all of us salvation.
So is it like a Highlander situation? There can be only one chaos god?
I was thinking more of a Christianity thing.
Well, you're going a bit too much into it with chaos gods and stuff like that. There is so many chaos gods. Yes, there is 4 main chaos gods, but there is so many minor ones. All right, so we took a small little break. We're back now. Yeah, we were talking about Celestia, but that was pretty much kind of it. Is like how Celestia, 50 years after she died, she was raised as a living saint, started coming back wearing the armor of Celestia or of Saint Katrina, which was a saint but not a living saint. And she's just been around the Imperium. And then what Sage was talking about is she was there at the Fall Acadia, was there fighting, and then when the pylons went off, it cut off all warp energies and warp activities within the realm, so it cut off her power. So that's the reason why she fainted and just fell to the ground. And that's the reason why the Legion of the Damned all disappeared and stuff like that, because it cut off all warp energies happening in that realm.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong. Becoming a living saint is a 2-step process. Step 1, die. Step 2, live.
Okay, I think you might be oversimplifying the process just a little bit, just a tiny bit.
But you have to have faith hard enough in the Emperor that where the Emperor chooses you to be a living saint. Hence the reason why almost all the living saints were from the Sisters of Battle.
Okay, so if what you say is true and you need faith in the Emperor to become a living saint,
Strong enough faith.
Would that not explain why a guy who couldn't die because orcs thought he couldn't die? What's his name?
Okay,
Yorick.
I got where
Sebastian
you're
Yorick.
going, but there's a different...
Now, hold on.
I'm
Wasn't
listening.
he not supposed... Didn't he not want to do any of this nonsense and he was just pushed into it by...
Well, that one is that it's... I think Sage was wrong on that part, because to become a commissar, you have to go through the Scholar Progenia. Scholar Progenia is for kids that were children of officers that died. So he had no actual family left.
100% agree.
What's up?
I want to look up and make sure my idea of where Yara came from is correct.
Yeah.
But also remember, I know without a doubt, Scholar of Duty, there were so many second and third sons who were shoved into that who never wanted to go there. But they were told either you succeed here or you die. or you're cast off from your family and be poor.
Well, yeah.
I know there's plenty of people who went to the commissar school who never would be there. Perfect example. Do you remember the series of books about the commissar who was the coward?
Commissar Kane. He was not a coward.
He was a coward.
No. It is he had imposter syndrome because every time he did something, he thought he was trying to save his ass, but did something. No, he actually did stuff to help the unit out, and then he had imposter syndrome. So he kept saying is he ran away from the battle, and that's how he ended up finding the thing. But no,
we have different views. To me, he's a coward, and he's blessed by either Karogi or Loki.
While
He's
those
lucky.
do not exist in 40K.
Karogi.
There are no gods, only war.
The Eldar god of laughter.
Oh
Karogi.
yeah, I forgot how to say his name properly.
I hear so many different versions. I'm just going with Karogi right now.
Okay, so
I
now
might
that
change
we
it.
have that established, we know
But-
it's Eldar God of Laughter.
He's a coward. Kane is a coward. Yes, he is. He
No.
never wanted to be a commissar. He never wanted to go in a battle.
Yeah.
And he always consistently ran away from combat. And he
But he
kept
always
getting
ended up in
lucky.
combat.
Guys, they have to appeal to the European audience.
Well,
Okay, you're not wrong.
okay, so you're saying he's French?
All right, now that one I'll argue. We could do a whole podcast. I'll argue against that, just
Okay.
on that subject alone.
Well, but anyways, is with let's get back to Yark that you're talking about and the Scholar Virginia. Yes, with Cyphus Kane, he did not want to be a commissar, but the thing is, he went through the Scholar Virginia. He became
He
Tempestus.
succeeded.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, you become Tempestus Scion. So he was that. While he was being trained as that, they saw he had enough leadership and stuff, so they sent him over there because he had enough faith in the Emperor
Right.
and enough
This is
enough
another
skill.
one we
Yeah.
will look up because this is one of the few strands of the human side of the 40K books I've read.
Yeah.
Most of the Kane. He never wanted to go there.
Oh yeah, he did not
He
want to.
only succeeded because his family paid them enough money. And he was never a good leader. He was surrounded by good people.
Man,
Yeah.
they gotta rewrite the freaking 40K blurb. You know, in the far future, the darkness of the far future, there is only war
Well,
and bribes.
yeah. Well,
Oh.
in Cyphus Kane, I've only read like 2 chapters out of his first book, and I do remember in the first book,
Okay.
like in the first chapter,
Like-
he's saying is like, "Hey, I did not want to become that, but if I'm going to become a commissar, I'm going to get the troops to like me. So when shit hits the fan, is they won't
will
shoot
keep-
me."
Yes, that was his exact ideal.
Hey,
He babied his troops as much so that they would protect him.
I've been told that it's the exact opposite with commissars. Commissars are usually the ones shooting their troops.
Yes, that is the expected. And
Yes.
this whole book is about a commissar who was the complete opposite.
Well, but
He never wanted to be there, was a coward, and always ran away from combat. But almost every time he ran away from combat, he ran into the
Yes.
actual real danger of the entire
or
war.
like a flanking force or something like that, and he protects the main force from being flanked.
And he's surrounded by such excellent troops, they keep dragging him out of it.
Jurgen is his right hand man that ended up being a
Who's-
blank.
Yeah, who's
Yeah.
a blade? He's a psyker that
Well, no,
he
an
blames all other
anti-psyker.
psychers around.
Yeah,
him.
he's an anti-psyker, so
I get
anything psychic around, and even normal people, since all humans have at least a small presence
Yeah.
in the warp, is that he makes him feel ill. But the thing is, the way his blank power manifests is through stench. So
Yeah,
people
I know.
thinks he smells horrible at all
No,
times.
He does smell horrible because he doesn't bathe.
Well,
That's part of
yeah.
his character.
But there's times
And-
that where he's bathed, and then Kane's like, "Dude, you still smell horrible."
It was like, yes, the whole typical view of the commissar is this absolute fearless, perfect leader. Kane is the exact opposite.
I would argue that somebody who has to shoot their soldiers to get them in line is not a perfect leader. But that's just me.
All right,
Well, the thing with commissars, since
me and the Imperium have different definitions of leadership.
well, let me tell you, let me just describe the Imperium really quick with the commissars. Commissars, they are leaders, but remember, they're more political officers than anything else that have been trained.
They're executioners.
Well, no, let me finish. because even in real life, political officers is if they see anyone that's like defecting or dissenting from how they're supposed to be, they do shoot them. Hence the reason why the commissars shoot troops when they show cowardice or like anything like heresy related.
So
They are political officers. They are there to ensure that all the forces stay
All
with
I'm
the Imperium.
hearing is Stalin when you're calling a commissar the political officer.
Yes.
That's exactly what
That's
Stalin
exactly
did.
what it is.
So here's my question: if we have commissars, do we also have apostrophe SARs?
I'm going to slap you, you stupid bitch.
Connie is the punner of the group.
Of you.
I don't understand this.
If I see the opportunity for a pun, I make it. Good or bad, I don't care. I make the pun.
She will risk her life for a bad pun.
Yeah.
And I'll be the one who takes it.
Connie is that kind of person.
This is a cry for help.
and you know what? There's a chance Connie is not lying when she said that.
Man's literally said he's going to kill me over a pun, and I live with this guy.
And we're talking about a podcast and talking about me killing you. Honey, I love you. And I encourage you to get mental health every day. And I want you to be surrounded by people who love and support you. I don't want to kill you, even though there's multiple times a day. Sometimes I consider throttling you. It's a separate ideal.
Well,
Oh man, I'm glad that I'm so aware. Okay, we don't need to get into this on the podcast.
yes. Let's not get into it until people understand ourselves more than anything, and then we can actually get a bit more into it.
Delicate, nuanced, and intricate interpersonal relationships that exist within one household.
Oh yes, and on top of it too is that we are all adults over the age of 21, and yes, we are consuming alcohol beverages, and we are having fun.
And I'm pretty sure we're all military vets at this table too.
And yes, we are all military vets.
And I'm also pretty sure that consistence would agree that the person or the entity that actually runs this entire household, I'm pretty sure is Navasi.
What?
Our cat?
The cat.
She's not even here right now.
That's why she's so good at running things. She doesn't even have to be around. And yet she dictates everything. So I say our cat Navasi runs the household. Tanya, close second.
I think you got those reversed.
Yes.
And if you would like to correct me.
How much money you want to bet if we go ask Tanya right now, who would she agree with?
Well, yeah, Sage is married, so that's his wife, Tanya.
You're focusing entirely the wrong point here.
Yeah.
So anyways,
no. I'm explaining to our viewers.
Commissars.
An ancient dinosaur from back in the Paleolithic era.
But how did Yorick die?
No. We did explain how Yorick died.
Oh,
according to current lore, he died because some
current lore.
Angry guy. Yeah. Literally, his name is
Angron's a
Angron.
punk.
Yeah, it's like Angry Mon.
Lehman Russ.
Yeah, that's the name. Angry
Lehman
Mon.
Russ could take Angron down drunk any day of the week.
Well, Lehman Russ is a complete idiot, and it is.
Okay, you're not wrong. Yeah. He's not the brightest Primarch, but the man can fight.
And anyone who is Space Wolves players, they're just furry wannabes and just Viking cosplayers. That's all they are.
Please wear oven mitts before viewing this podcast because of all the hot takes.
Space Wolf players are not furry wannabes. They furry ours because they dominate.
No. They literally
By the way,
are too afraid to dress up.
All of these combats, Jane Czar is just smiling at all of you because she knows she could take everybody blindfolded.
But not the lion. I've tore up Jane Czar with freaking guardsmen multiple times in the game.
Well, yeah, that's because guardsmen have an infinite supply.
Yes.
They have more units than their enemies have bullets.
Yeah. Because if we cannot beat you with chainsword and lasgun, we will crush you with the weight of our dead bodies.
I know there's been multiple the flavor comments in the books, but there's been in one of the stories where literally that was the decision. They figured out, they've taken over this Forge world. They've fired this many cannon rounds. How many do they have left? Not enough. Okay, charge. So bravely,
I sent wave and wave after my own men until the killbots hit their kill limit. That is how I destroyed the killbot invasion.
The funny thing is, what little I know about Tau, throwing bodies at the problem would be effective because the Tau have the opposite philosophy. They're not willing to sacrifice. If they would lose people, they would rather lose position. So you can get them to retreat by just overrunning them.
Well, but your fire warriors beg to differ.
the Tau fighting philosophy, because that is exactly how you win battles. Positions don't matter. Power does.
Yeah. Well, I'm just talking about the game because, yes, I'm into the lore. Me and Sage, we actually played the tabletop game. But the fact is, the Fire Wars beg to differ because they die a lot.
We slowly are infecting our friend here with the desire to play Tau. You'll play a Tau army.
Yes, Connie. We are trying to get Connie.
If I put a big enough mech on the table, you will play the game.
I'm not interested in Tau for the mechs. I'm interested in Tau for the long-range artillery. Which I guess.
Where do you think it comes from? By the mechs.
I thought a guy could just hold a railgun.
Well, yes, railgun, but they do have something.
But a mech can hold a bigger railgun.
They do have the riptides.
Guess what? A bigger mech can hold a bigger railgun.
and guess what? The bigger mech on that can carry is it can carry a bigger gun with extra mechs on them.
I've always been told the correct way to play Tau is to just put as many crisis suits in the field as the point limit will allow.
Well, a joke I've also heard is
that should be 18.
What's the best way to win with the Tau army? Well, you get all the biggest guns they have, and you just play on the table over there.
Well, that's how guard artillery works too, because guard artillery literally has.
We could literally play a game, me versus another opponent on one table. You could be on that table, and you could be on that table.
Wasn't there once a case where an actual tournament was influenced by somebody phoning in
across
because there wasn't a range limit on a weapon?
Well, that's an actual real event that happened. It was a joke between the stores that they had is that anytime the store calls, it says that there's a shot going to come because they tell them what games are playing, and then they get to choose where the missile hits. And so it was an agreement between the stores. One had a tournament. Bloof.
Was it the Manticore?
I forgot which vehicle, but it was a missile.
Yeah, they had range unlimited, so they literally did that from across.
They called it from fucking Europe.
Yes,
and
they
stuck
did.
An American company.
And everybody thought it was so damn funny. The people losing were like, "Yes, do it!"
Yeah, and the players also agreed because it was a tournament, and players like, "Okay, that sounds like fun." Boof!
And that's exactly the kind of shit Imperial Guard would do.
Yeah,
sir, we're losing. Well, don't we have people over in that continent?
It's just we're calling in Commissar. We appear to be losing this war. We're running out of men faster than they're running out of bullets.
Wait, the Commissar would be there and telling the person, "Hey, you call command."
I just imagine.
Why are you calling me asking for this bombardment?
I'm imagining the fucking intern that's on the line for that call, and they're like, sir, they're asking for a bombardment 3 planets over.
Why the hell are you waking me up? Well,
Commissar Yarick called.
A gun to my head.
Yes, Commissar Yarick needs this item and this to happen now. And what Commissar wants, Commissar gets. Fair enough.
Understood. Button push is like my favorite thing. Like the general says to the private.
No.
Private, do you see that army over there? Yes, sir. I don't want to. Understood, sir.
That could still be the Commissar talking to the comms guy. Like, hey, comms guy, what is it, Commissar? I don't want to see that army anymore. Understood, Commissar. Calling command.
That is how Yarick fights. He's like, I don't want to see that. Get rid of that. It's like, sir, it's Gazgul. All right, I'll go up there and fight him.
It's another thing. I need to look up the lore to make sure I'm sure of this, but I'm pretty sure Commissar Yarick is the only Imperial guardsman that the Space Wolves ever took an order from.
With him, yes. With the actual lore and what is there is he is literally the
Logan Grimnar took orders from Lord Commander
because
Commissar
he is
Yarick.
pretty much he is the War Master of Armageddon. What he says goes.
Yep. And Logan Grimnar himself was like, all right.
Well, but you have to remember there was more powerful, more famous people, like people from the Grey Knights and other stuff that listened to him, and Ultramarines people. Because remember,
right.
But I don't care about any of the rest.
Because everyone hates the Space Wolves, so let's never talk about them again.
Oh, everyone hates the Space Wolves. Do you have any choice words to say about that comment?
I would say every Space Marine chapter outside of Space Wolves sucks Space Wolves.
And what does an Eldar player know about Space Marines?
Ladies and gentlemen, listen to the podcast. Oven mitts are no longer sufficient. Please put on your welding masks for these hot takes.
Dude, commentary
All
like
right.
that. That's the reason why I want you part of this, dude.
Name me
That's hilarious.
any other Space Marine chapter
Dark Angels.
that has defied every single aspect of the Imperium.
Dark Angels.
They
Dark
did?
Angels or Blood Angels?
Dark Angels.
Because I didn't even know Dark Angels were a faction before
Okay.
just now.
Dude,
Oh,
I
God,
played the Dark
there's-
Angels.
there's-
I've never watched you
there's
play a
dozens.
single game of 40K.
There's dozens and dozens and dozens of
Well,
Space Marine chapters.
There is
You will
18
never
main
keep-
chapters right now, but every single one of those chapters, they were technically split off from legions, so each one of them have
Expect-
1,000 chapters from that single legion. And the
Oh,
Dark
that's
Angels
really
are still
great.
considered
Thank you.
as the first
Oh,
legion,
By the
and they
way,
all stay together.
expect Space Wolves because they said, fuck you, we're going to do our own goddamn thing.
Hey, guess what? My Primarch beat the shit out of yours. How about that?
God, you guys feel like freaking elementary school kids. Like, my Primarch could beat your Primarch, well, my dad could beat your dad.
Well, my Primarch did beat yours. Oh!
See, I'm not arguing that. What I'm arguing is the Space Wolf chapter has consistently told everybody fuck off, and they've won every time.
Well,
Okay, but-
guess what? The Dark Angels don't need to say fuck off. They're like, they'll talk with you, and then behind they're destroying all your stuff,
keep
and by the
float-
time you turn
keep
around,
float-
clonk.
Are you the ones that floating on a little rock? Is that Dark Angels? You
Oh
got the little
no!
rock
No,
that float around?
you guys like
Oh, I'm
to whack
sorry.
off on your Krakens
I'm
and
sorry,
make
I
swords of them.
confuse you with all the other chapters that are all the angels. You're just, I can't really.
No,
distinguish it.
Okay, so-
it is a
I know.
No,
We've
no,
quarter
evolved.
of the
No, it's fine.
it's a
fine.
quarter of
This-
the planet called the Rock. That
Ladies
is their main base.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we call content. By all means, keep going. I was just going to ask, do the Space Marine chapters like get into conflicts a lot? Like,
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Well, the
No,
Dark Angels
seriously.
and Space Wolves, they have a constant
they're-
yearly
they're-
thing that where
But I was saying,
the Dark Angels go beat the shit out of the Space Wolves
Okay, now hold
to
on,
show
hold
them
on.
who's better.
on a scale
all the
of,
books on 40K, about half of them are Space Marines fighting Space Marines.
I have to ask, on a scale of Army Navy football game to World War III, how much do these two chapters hate each other?
More like the football game.
Okay.
Football game. Well, what is a chapter? All you angels, I can't keep you in.
Okay,
Correct.
so with the
Blood
Space Marine
Angels,
chapters,
Dark Angels.
there used to be legions of it, and then
Well,
they
there's-
had
Angel
chapters in
Bones.
it
Well,
that
like,
was about 1,000 Marines
There's
each.
one of them that the Space Wolves just kill on sight. They wear green.
The
Oh, that was Donatello from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
You're right. I forgot. It was a Donatello chapter. Shut the fuck up, bitch.
well, it is the salamanders. They hate the salamanders. So the Vikings, the Nazi
It's one-
Vikings, go kill the black guy
It's
chapter.
one of the angels ones.
So
There's
what-
like the
What
Primarchs
chapters?
hate each
No,
other.
hold on. How many chapters have Angel in their name? I know
Oh,
Blood
God.
Angels. I know Blood Angels and
Well,
Dark Angels.
hold on for a second. With the Horus Hearsay, the ideal was that a Space Marine chapter can get too big. If
Why
it
was there a hearsay?
No,
about
no.
a horse?
This was after. This was a Codex
Well,
Statis.
Got it. But the idea was that you must break them up into smaller chapters, so successor chapters, so they're all independent. The most prolific was Ultramarines. The next one was Angels. So
Wow.
they have a lot of successor chapters. But what I'm pointing out is the Space Wolves never did this. They just completely ignored the entire
No,
concept
they
of
broke up.
successor chapters.
They broke up. They're
Lunar Wolves, who devolved, and a Space Wolf slaughtered them.
They
and then
did.
They never broke off another successor.
No, they
chapter.
did. They did. They were forced to. So they do have multiple successor chapters. The Space Wolves do.
I call bullshit.
No, they did. they do have
I
it.
call the retcon as bullshit.
Now,
God,
because
they
remember,
retconned everything.
remember
All right,
Lehman.
now all of a sudden.
Let me finish.
Oh,
let me
I'm
finish.
sorry.
Lehman Russ was also told by Gilliman is, hey, you need to because you're following our stuff, you need to go make sure Rorgol Dorn actually splits up because Rorgol Dorn
Are
disagreed
you
with
talking
that.
about now or during the hearsay?
After the heresy, that's when it happened. Because all
But
this
the Space
happened.
Wolves never broke up. No, like I said, they
They
created
broke
Lunar
up.
Wolves. All right, we got to look at the lore.
So it sounds like next podcast, the Horus Heresy will be the main topic of discussion that we
Oh,
eventually.
God,
probably gonna forget
no,
about this. We're
because
gonna
I'm
forget
so
about
tired of
this.
hearing about the Horus Heresy.
Yeah, it is too much.
Everything in the Space
But let's
Marine.
not talk about Space Marines because everyone's sick and tired of Space Marines
So let's get back
and Space
to-
Wolves.
But that's the problem. Space Marines have the most content. Like they made a
do.
fucking video game called Warhammer 40K Fire Warrior, and the Fire Warrior it's the B plot in their own fucking video game. The plot of the game is Space Marines versus Chaos. And you're a Fire Warrior who just so happens to get wrapped up in Space Marines versus Chaos.
Well, they do have a lot of content, but there is a lot of content with Guard and other people that people enjoy.
Like I played that game from beginning to end. I love that game.
It's
in my opinion, it's
not
one
bad
of the
at all.
excuse me, it's one of the better space Warhammer 40K games out there. But you are 100% correct. The game is called Tau Fire Warrior. You play a Tau Fire Warrior through the entire game. What is the game about?
Chaos versus
Space Marines versus Chaos.
No. That's what's happening. You're a Fire Warrior in the middle of this crap happening. And you're trying to survive.
So what happens is, at first, it's like, oh, okay, they kidnapped very important person. We have to go get very important person. The plot very quickly becomes, you, strange Xenos, we're willing to work with you because we're really cool humans or something. And
that does not sound like the Ultramarines.
It's really weird.
I looked it up. You pointed this out because I played the game. Beginning, I loved it. You played some of it, at least part of it.
I'm familiar with the game. I'm not sure if I
you
actually played
said
it.
this to me. I went back and looked up. I went to YouTube videos, I went to other commentaries, and I was like, you are 100% correct. The entire plot of the game is Space Marines versus Chaos. And you are playing a Tau Fire Warrior who happens to be lucky enough to help the Ultramarines defeat Chaos. That's the plot of the game.
And all of this could be forgiven if the Tau weapons were actually good in that game. The only good Tau weapon in that whole fucking game is a railgun. You spend most of the time shooting fucking Space Marine guns.
I agree. Like, I liked the game. Fire Warrior, overall, I liked it. The gameplay was good. But story-wise, God, it sucked. Why did we never get anything better than Fire Warrior armor? Why did we not get camouflage armor? Why did we not get a crosses suit? Why did we not get the
because we
hybrid?
hadn't come up with all these really cool ideas yet.
I actually know that they did. It's just that it would have been too much to implement in a PlayStation 1 game.
It was PS1?
I believe so.
Christ.
It's an old game.
I'll double check
I do
after.
remember that.
Now, this is where you figure out the age of everybody attending this podcast.
Yes, we are all old. Well, not old. We are above 30.
Come on. To me, Doom 3D is still a new game.
Sage, yeah.
I am not joking. Do you know the first 3D game I played?
Sage, you're acting like you're 300 years old.
The first 3D game I played had to have 2 screens.
To be fair, if you've ever seen Sage, you could put a wizard hat on him and he would look like your stereotypical wizard.
Yeah, dude, why do you look like you're 70?
Because I'm Gen X. We turned 50 at age 15, and we kept aging from then.
I keep forgetting you're Gen X, man.
Welcome to the Warhammer 40K podcast. Up next, Generational Trauma.
Dude, I love that commentary. That's awesome, bro.
This is why we had you come down here with us.
Yeah, and you're having fun.
I'm like, oh man, why would I be on this podcast? I know almost nothing about Warhammer 40K.
And that's the whole point.
Yes, you are the every person. Come on.
The only thing I know is they made a shitty video game where you played the B plot in your own game as a Fire Warrior.
But it's like I love that game. I really did. I enjoyed that game. It was a great experience. You said that.
Yeah, I went back in your own game.
Well, I went back to the game and I was like, oh my fucking God, you're right.
Well,
I am the B character in my entire fucking plot in this whole game because it would never let the Tau be the center point of the plot.
Well, hear about this. Since we're talking about 40K games, I recently got a game that's on the PC. It is called Rogue Trader. It is where you play a rogue trader, and it's a CRPG, and you have a group of multiple people. You get an Inquisitor, you get a Unsanctioned Psyker, you get a Sister Battle, you get a fucking Space Wolf.
Do you get one of those? Do you get one of those big guys in Ogren?
No.
And then,
yeah.
Who else
and
is going to throw entire
I'm going to have to say in Warhammer 40K, a Space Wolf, Space Marine, Ogren, interchangeable. Well, honestly, as much as I love the Space Wolves, they are interchangeable.
While in Ogren, just with gameplay and game sheets, Ogren will beat a single squad of Ogren will beat a squad of Space Wolves easily,
hands down.
Yeah, like no issue. Like the Ogrens will probably not even lose a unit.
Is like you genetically crossed an ox with a human being.
Well, they're technically.
Then take their intelligence down a few steps. That's an Ogren.
My favorite thing about the Ogren is Warhammer 40k
Okay.
Dark Tide. They throw an entire case of grenades at people without pulling any of the
Yes,
pins.
that is hilarious, and it still explodes for some reason. No. The first one, they just throw the box.
Yeah,
The
you
other
can get-
one, it actually it hits, and then the grenades splash off and explode.
You can get an upgrade, but you were
Yeah.
talking about Rogue Trader.
Yeah, Rogue Trader, you don't get
All I
that.
have this image in my head of two Ogrins, and one's going to the other.
Well, they're bonehead algorithms.
Well, hold on. They're both one's holding a grenade, but it's tiny in his fingers, and he goes up, he fingers it. Come here, look, and he pulls the pin out, and the spoon flies off, and he holds like this, and he puts it over here, and then it blows up, and they both just like flinch, and they're done, and then the second one. You can see, I see. You can see that.
Yes, I can see it. It is like, oh, like it gets it now. It now knows how to use a grenade.
It's like the first time a monkey saw another monkey peel a banana.
Oh, we should get into the experiment about monkeys and the grapes on the top of the ladder, but that's a separate discussion.
Okay. Well, let's not get into that too much.
It's a
We're
psychology
trying to be a
experiment.
40k podcast, we promise.
Oh, this has direct relations to
Well,
Ogrins.
The fact is that, yes, it is kind of geared to 40K, but the fact is we can talk about almost anything in this podcast, and then we'll try to loop it around to 40K at least.
Yeah, we come back around.
We've cut you off like 7 times. You're talking about Rogue Trader.
Well, I've completely forgotten now.
You're talking about you can get all these people. You can get an Inquisitor.
Oh yeah, so you get an Inquisitor, you get a Navigator, you get a Dark Eldar and a normal
You said you get
Eldar.
a Space Wolf, but can you get a Harlequin?
No, you get a Dark Eldar and a normal Eldar.
You really think they're going to give you more than like 2 Xenos?
And
I can
you
get a
do
Harlequin.
and you do
You
get a
can't
Tech
get a
Priest too.
Harlequin, but you can get a Harlequin.
Hey, but the Tech
Because-
Priest is my favorite character so far, just fighting wise.
Okay, it's a very thin gray line between Harlequin and Hardon.
No, I'm pretty sure one causes the other.
Exactly.
Anyways.
Well,
Who
the
knew?
Dark Eldar are more like that. The Harley Quinn, there's
Oh my
some
God.
sacred mission that they're on.
I missed it. I just realized. My Solitaire. I should have painted her to look like Pennywise.
Like the clown?
The murder clown from It. I should have painted her like
We all float down
Pennywise,
here?
yes.
that would have been like the Solitaire from Harlequin. Paint her like
Well,
Pennywise.
but
That would
remember
be
the
funny.
Solitaire's whole job is to be Slanesh in the play, so that yes, they are playing
To
a role of
epitomize
doom, yes,
evil.
a role of demise, and
Isn't
hence the
isn't
reason why
Slanesh
that
this-
they will die.
Isn't Slanesh the sex cult god?
Yes.
Yes,
Slanesh
Slanesh is
is-
he who thirsts that desires Eldar's souls, which Eldar players should know more about.
That's you.
Slanesh is the chaos god that Eldar murder fucked into existence.
Like no joke.
Okay, I'm going to have to ask you to define murder fuck.
I can, but honestly,
Oh no! How I can define it?
the fall.
Imagine Helldiver. I mean, not Helldivers. Fuck, Hellraiser.
Okay.
Okay, and that was the whole empire of a billion suns.
Okay.
Well,
I'm on the same page now.
Okay,
the fall of the Eldar, the way I see it, as tragic and brutal as it is a whole other podcast. Because to me, it is an awesome fucking story. Because you can't talk about the fall of the Eldar without getting into the creation of the Craft Worlds, Maiden Worlds, Exodites.
and the Necrons.
Well, that goes back before the rise of the Eldar.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Eldar were almost murdered by the Necrons.
Oh yeah, the Necrons won, and then they shut down.
Because they didn't want to kill everything. So when they shut down, the Eldar rose. They were the dominant race.
And they became the empire of a billion suns.
And they fucked a chaos god in existence that destroyed their entire race. I gotta say,
I would say
props.
95% of the race.
Huh?
95% of the race.
Yeah, there are still some Eldar in existence. You play them.
No,
after
I'm
all.
saying that happening, that exists.
straight up. Yeah, I know.
Doomed the Eldar race. So now our only chance for survival is for when the last one of us dies and Yanid goes back in existence.
Yes, and there was one guy who wanted to actually have that happen quicker, but then the freaking dumbass.
Guys, we're not murder fucking fast enough.
No. There was a it was the kill team guys. What's her name? Death Watch, who screwed that up.
Sorry.
Forever. I hope I never forget the phrase, we are not murder fucking fast enough.
I'm surprised.
These are rookie numbers, god damn it. We gotta pump these numbers up. We gotta murder fuck.
Without saying too much, I'm surprised that never came up in your time in the military. Then again,
it probably did, but people wouldn't say it to me because they know I'd turn them in.
The people that you worked with were so stupid. They thought that you could use satellite imagery to detect underground tunnels.
That was a small handful of officers. It was satellite imagery. Whole thing, satellite imagery. Do it. Thermal, infra. I got all kinds of satellite imagery. Where are the tunnels at? That's underground. Yeah, where are the tunnels at?
Under the ground, maybe?
Underground, and I do imagery, pictures.
From space.
It's real easy. Tell them to take their phone, take a picture of the ground. Now tell me what's below the fucking ground.
Oh my God. I struggle. Like, I have to stop and think about the classified sections of the shit I had to deal with these fucking people about. Where are the tunnels? I'm imagery.
You want to know?
Imagery.
Yeah, but okay, I'm not going to say that. I don't know what it is and isn't allowed to.
Oh,
but it's like, hey, don't you guys have a tool that can do this? Yes, we do. How about you go out and put the tool that can do this?
It's okay. They said, don't we have ground penetrating radar?
Yeah.
Yes, it exists.
And that's not satellite imagery.
And the emitter is on the ground. Do you understand that? Not satellite on the ground. No, they would not understand. They constantly, satellite imagery guy, where's the tunnels?
Okay. So what were we talking about? Murder fucking hard enough?
Yeah.
No, you were the one that's, no.
Yeah, wait. So you brought up the they're not murder fucking enough. But the fact is that he was a normal Eldar. He was not Dark Eldar. Dark Eldar are the closest to the original Eldar before the fall happened. So they are the original Eldar. I'm going
to disagree with you in there. You have pre-fall Eldar. Craft World Eldar was, I want to be away from this. Mm-hmm. Dark Eldar is, I devolve into this. They embrace the evil that created Slanesh.
Well, GW now is saying that is like, yeah, the Dark Eldar are the closest to the original Eldar.
Well, and here for another 5 minutes about Sage complaining about retcons.
But anyways, and that's one of the big things they say.
I have 20 years of retcon beef.
Yeah, he does.
So, I don't necessarily think that retcons are the worst thing to happen to a series.
I want a series to evolve, adapt, change. You should never be constrained to what has happened before,
but the new version has to be interesting.
Yeah.
If you want to retcon something, you have to give us something that is at least as good or better than.
But remember, GW is a model company, not a story company or a game company.
They're stupid.
Yes, exactly.
Doesn't stop.
No one will disagree with you.
I understand. We live in a cap. Their goal is sell models. They will write whatever they have to sell models. I get that.
But the actual writers do. Writers that are not GW, they actually make the good lore that people like.
Every Warhammer 40k player is in a abusive relationship.
Yes, Warhammer players are in Stockholm Syndrome. That's the reason why they can't go to another game.
Stockholm, you don't know. We know we are in an abusive relationship with Citadel.
Okay, but
we know they're going to treat us like crap, and we're still going to buy their.
Is that a Facebook status or?
So you're saying that we are beating women in a marriage because of GW?
I got where you're coming from. I'm going to take the gender out of it, but we know we are being abused by them, and we will continue to go back to them no matter how much they abuse to us.
And this is why I'm a recovered Magic the Gathering player.
Yes, and you have gotten far better.
I will say that what is the difference between Magic the Gathering and Warhammer?
The price tag?
Warhammer's just smarter, honestly.
Yeah,
they are better at manipulating us than Magic the Gathering.
And the thing too is just the fact is just the people who play it, they do have less mental issues as Magic players do because Yeah.
Magic the
Continue.
Gathering could be really fun in theory, right? Like, you guys talk about Games Workshop, and you still support Games Workshop, not because you like Games Workshop, but because Warhammer 40k is a really fun game to play,
And
right?
the community.
And
some of the
Yeah,
community
no,
is great.
it's community is why we.
Yeah.
Dude, you
And-
were right there to pick my nose.
I'm sorry, I almost did. I was pulling back.
and with Magic the Gathering, like the game itself is in theory really cool, but between how Wizards of the Coast monetizes Magic the Gathering with more sets than anybody can hope to keep up with, and
I
just
know,
how
it's-
unfun a lot of the Eternal formats are, the ones that you wouldn't have to go and keep buying cards up for,
Yeah.
because the Eternal formats are just really heavily optimized. You can only play the best decks unless the person you're playing with has no clue what they're doing.
Yeah.
So like.
I hate that
Like,
mentality.
I wanted to try to build a deck for Pauper, and I can't build anything that's
It's so
better than the best
competitive.
decks.
Yeah, it's so competitive now.
But that's
That's why I honestly did have fun playing some of the Warhammer decks on Magic. 'Cause
Yeah, they're fun decks for sure.
they were fun to play for me. No, did I ever win? No.
well, yeah. But the other problem is that you were playing in Commander, which is arguably the worst format to play Magic the Gathering in.
I agree.
Well, why do you say that?
Okay,
I've always
Here, let me
enjoyed
explain to you
that.
Commander. All right, three of us are sitting at a table.
Honestly, I want to hear this. I
Three-
want to understand
Three
the
of us
difference.
are sitting at a table, right? And if we're all playing Commander, one of us at this table gets to have fun. That is Commander, because it is nearly impossible for everybody to have the
So
same structured deck.
overwhelming advantages from the beginning.
Well, like I was playing Commander with
Hey,
a bunch
hey,
of my friends. It was
hey.
like a, it was like a,
Let me see that.
it was what do you call it? We were playing a 4 or 5 player game, right?
If you look in a cabinet, you can find the pieces for the other two legs.
Currently, Sage is trying to hire a child to fix his Legos for him.
No, but I'm
Yeah.
also saying this is standard. You can do better for front weapons than that.
Where was? So we were playing like it was a lot of players at the table. There was one person at the table who was controlling the game. It was me, and I still wasn't having fun because I felt like a bully. Because I could simply by
No.
the act of drawing cards
let it
kill
finish.
everything on the
Mhm.
field. Nobody could keep any board presence
Thank you.
because I could just kill everything. And it wasn't fun for me, and it certainly wasn't fun for everybody at the table getting bullied. Like, the problem with Commander is that the power scaling isn't there because too many cards are too powerful. That's the problem with all Eternal formats. There's just too many cards to pick from that are
Mhm.
too strong.
The other thing is that, like, if you have a decent play group and you all agree to have a deck, like a deck at a certain level,
Well, we did budget for this. This entire deck was like a $200 deck. And it still just ruined everybody's day because power level, like, it's just dumb.
yeah.
Okay, here's a difference in me because the idea of paying $200 on a deck of cards seems fucking ridiculous.
Luxury
But
card,
hold on.
but
cardboard
I am a
rectangles.
Warhammer 40k player, so I have no room to talk about how much money you spend on your hobby.
Hello, collectors of
Legally-
luxury cardboard rectangles.
Legally, I have to say that I would never support getting cards illegally or using proxies in Magic the Gathering.
I use
Legally.
will see proxies.
Legally. That's
I
my
use
statement.
legal
That's what I mean.
That's
It's
my
like,
statement, and if their lawyers want to come after me, that's what I'm sticking to.
Well, me,
you don't spend
literally
enough money for them to give a shit.
80% of my
No, no.
decks are proxies.
Wizards of the Coast came and sent the fucking Pinkertons after somebody because they got a card ahead of time.
I know. I remember hearing about it. Was a Black Lotus issue.
Oh no, it's not
No,
Black
what-
Lotus.
what?
It was a deck or like a series of cards that were coming out, a set of cards coming out. They sent it to him like a few weeks early, and so he was showing it to everyone.
It's
And
just
then, yeah,
has Games Workshop ever done anything like that?
no.
Oh.
Well, actually, yes, they had
I-
done something somewhat similar. There was a company who was making models that looked
I
better than
was-
theirs that they actually
Oh.
sued out of existence.
Oh, wait a minute.
Uh.
I know. Aliens. The initial
Xenos?
release of Tyranids was a
Yeah, they painted it to look like xenomorphs.
Imperial. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not painted. They were designed. They look. It was so bad. The initial models never got to production. They were sued too quickly,
Yeah.
instantly. But that was their initial reach. And I was talking, like Tanya, my wife asked me, so how bad are Tyranids compared to xenomorphs? I was like, think of the xenomorphs that you know. That is the weakest ass Tyranid you can imagine.
Yeah.
It is shit. It will die
the
instantly.
Termagants
is-
and Harrogants.
And it is significantly less hungry.
Like the queen from Aliens, that's a Tyranid warrior.
I would say more like a Bone Lord, the Queen.
Okay, I'm not familiar enough with
Yeah, the Storm
Tyranids.
Lord. Yeah, it's
I don't know what
bigger
those
unit.
characters are. I
Yeah.
just remember anyway. We talk about it's so overpowered in the lore. Anyway,
Wow.
What isn't overpowered in the
but
lore?
a tyrant. Yeah, so like a leader.
a lead.
Well, then, yeah.
No, that's what I said. One of the most powerful xenomorph characters we've seen in the movies.
It is a mid-rank.
Agreed.
Yeah,
is a mid-level character within the Tyranid force, and
Yes.
there's so much worse.
So much more. Yeah. And name characters too.
I was joking. It's like if you're on a planet and you see one Tyranid of any type on that planet, just leave.
Blast
Yeah.
the whole thing.
That's
Well,
agreed.
don't glass it. Goodness.
No, I agree
Yeah.
with glass.
Well, no.
Leave, blow up the planet. That is your only fucking hope.
Well, the joke in 40K, yeah, Inquisitors blow up planets all the time, but the thing is that they actually have to really have a really good reason to blow up a planet, because they'll have other Inquisitors. Inquisitors only answer to other Inquisitors.
Yeah.
The higher ranked ones will come to them, and they will get stripped if they blow up a planet for no good reason.
I feel like Tyranid is a pretty good reason, though.
Well,
I don't know much
a
about.
few Tyranids, yes, but a planet can be saved from Tyranids. It has been done multiple times, and in games too. And the Tyranid Wars and how the Ultramarines lost almost their whole chapter defending a McCrack from the first Tyranid War.
And all three people who liked Ultramarines shed a tear at that chapter's brave and valiant sacrifice.
Well,
I didn't, because I wish the Tyranids would have just finished the little fuckers off.
Yeah. The Tyranids are with Ultramarines. Matt Ward is what kind of made them the poster boys and made people hate them. Because the Ultramarines, before Matt Ward became someone, people like them.
Well, so the thing is, my understanding of the Space Marine chapters is that they all have some sort of genetic flaw or whatever, right?
Some have genetic flaws.
Exactly, and the Ultramarines' defining feature is that they don't have one. That's my understanding.
And the same as the Dark Angels.
Well, I mean, that's a completely different.
And while the Dark Angels, the Imperial Fist, the Space Wolves have a genetic flaw.
Yeah, the genetic flaws.
The Raven or the Raven Guard, they don't have a flaw.
The Space Wolves' genetic flaw is that they're fucking awesome.
No, they turn into real life furries.
Being awesome isn't a flaw, but
furry werewolf, it still eviscerates the enemies. Call it whatever the fuck you want. We're still awesome.
I have this image in my head of somebody in a fucking fursuit somehow being John Wick and killing everybody. It's a weird image to have.
Well, the
Honestly,
thing is that the
imagine a werewolf with weapons made for the werewolf, like axes and shields.
Okay, why would I use an axe when we have chainsaws? I would use a chain axe.
Yes.
When you look at these weapons, those details are irrelevant. It's a fucking werewolf that is still wearing power armor.
Partial power.
But still enhances their strength and gives them extra protection. I'm serious. And imagine a gun big enough they can carry.
So my next question is
let me finish. Let me say this part. The reason why that they keep bringing up the stuff with the Space Wolves, the last time they did a negative to Space Wolves, all the Space Wolf players did not leave them alone for months on end. So now GW knows is we can't piss off the Space Wolf players because they're such whiny bitches. We'll never hear the end of it.
So hold on.
Whiny bitches.
So my question is, how many Forge Worlds do you need to make Space Wolf-sized equipment?
One.
Well,
the Forge World that exists within the Fenris system is the only one they've ever needed.
They only have one Forge
World?
No,
not system. Is that it is a subsector. So we're talking about a smaller portion of space that has multiple systems. The Fenris system
has the central planet of Fang. It has a Forge World and 2 Aggro Worlds.
Okay. I don't know anything about
because
the Space
they need
Wolves.
to fucking eat, I guess.
And they supply everything. They have survived the Necron attack. They survived the attack of the Apostate Cardinal. They survived the attack of the... What's the Green Angels? I can't remember. The angels that are always in green.
Okay, that's the Dark Angels.
They survived the Dark Angels.
They did. The Dark Angels never went to fight them
yes,
at that
they
level.
did.
When?
The Citadel, after the Necron attack. when the Necrons attacked the entire system of Fenris as a coordinated attack in order to get one of the artifacts, which they did. The Space Wolves failed in stopping it, but they framed the Space Wolves for chaos influence because of the, what do they call the werewolves? Wolverine. They came in. The rock of the Green Angels themselves came into their system, and the Space Wolves defeated them because
I have not heard of that myself.
What's the Space Marines that are only against demons? The silver ones?
That is the Grey Knights.
The Grey Knights transported in the entire chapter to assist the Space Wolves in fighting against the Dark Angels because they were framed for the chaos influence.
Well, the one thing I can say is that
that book. It's right
the Grey Knights
pointing to that book.
Let me finish. The Grey Knights themselves, they are super Marines. They're not normal Marines. We're talking about
the most pious.
Well, no.
The most devoted.
Let me finish. Is that the Grey Knights? They are at the level of that. They are on the same level as the custodians.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about a single custodian can easily take on 10 Marines with no issue. And we're talking about the Grey Knights are at their level. So they can easily take on 10 Angel or 10 Marines like singly. So that's like if the Dark Angels were fighting that, yes, they are overwhelmed. And if it's just one Dark Angels chapter. But remember, the Dark Angels chapters, they still consider themselves a legion. They just broke up in chapters just so that they're in compliance.
In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only politics.
I've heard many of those jokes, and they're right when it comes to human. That is one of the reasons why I love Eldar more, because I don't have to get involved in all of this shit. It's like, you know, most of the battles the Space Wolves have fought have been against humans.
Yes, but you're also the person who told me that Eldar will happily direct Tyranids to a completely different planet by destroying the food sources on the way to their planets to make sure that the Tyranids don't eat them.
And what are we missing? Human worlds? Honestly,
I don't know what
are we missing?
I don't know if like elves settle right next to freaking human systems.
No, we didn't. The Eldar will direct.
Why are they being weird like that? Suddenly next to human planets?
Eldar will happily direct Tyranid to kill billions and billions of human lives in order to save 100 Eldar.
Well, yeah, but they're also they're also blowing up planets themselves.
And hence the reason why the Imperium hates them. Because come on, you do a few good things to an Imperium.
I'm not arguing against it. Do you realize? I'm going to say, do you realize the Eldar told Horus to not betray the Emperor? It goes that far back. Yeah. The Eldar tried, but y'all are just so fucking stupid. You still did the stupid shit.
I mean, what are you talking about? That's the Luna Wolves who did that.
Humans?
No. The Luna Wolves are not a subsector. Let me finish. Okay. Let me finish. The Luna Wolves were first originally called the Sons of Horus. Then Horus, is when he became the War Master, he changed his chapter to the Luna Wolves. Mm-hmm. So the Luna Wolves actually were a different chapter than the Space Marines. They're a different legion.
You are correct.
Yes.
The Space Wolves had one successor chapter. I do not remember their name because I thought they were Luna Wolves. Yeah. They almost immediately devolved into madness and were wiped out by the Space Wolves. That was the only successor chapter they ever tried. Otherwise, they kept 12 chapters of their own. No, what do we call it?
They did. They had 13 companies, but then one got lost in the warp.
12 companies.
Yeah, the mythical 13 companies.
Well, that one
was one of those companies Games Workshop.
Actually, it's still missing because Lehman Russ went with the 13 company, and they're still lost in the warp.
I've heard Lehman Russ like 17 times. Who the hell is Lehman Russ?
Lehman Russ is the Primarch of the Space Marines. He was known as Space Marines.
All Space Marines.
Yes.
Follow Lehman Russ.
Okay.
I wish.
So Lehman Russ.
Primarchs.
Yeah, we've all been drinking, so forgive us. But Leman Russ is the Primarch of the Space Wolves, and he was also known as the Emperor's Executioner to do a lot of crazy stuff, and he did do it. But he was also an idiot and believed someone is like, oh, the Emperor actually said, yeah, he said go get them, but he actually meant kill them, and hence the reason why the Thousand Sons joined Chaos, because Leman Russ listened to a Chaos guy that forced another chapter to go Chaos.
You are so foolish.
No, straight
It
up.
was
That is
so much more complicated than that.
Well, Erebus, the one that everyone hates, that ruined the whole Imperium, is he was the one that convinced Leman Russ that is like the Emperor actually wants to kill Magnus the Red instead of bringing him back to Terra so that Papa can give him a spanking. And so that's the reason why Thousand Sons joined Chaos.
Okay,
Okay,
Terra's
you
Earth, right?
Yes.
Like that's our planet.
You just explained why it wasn't the Space Wolves. It was the lies told to them.
Yeah, but that is what he said originally. He's like, oh yeah, they trusted this stupid guy who said kill him instead of capture him.
You know who the original stupid guy was?
Why
Was
did
the
you make me
Emperor.
sound like a meathead with your voice, huh? Come on.
Well, because I can't do voices.
Well,
right?
I know I'm hunky, yes, but come on. Come on. I'm not a meathead.
I think we've had a good evening. I think it's time to end this,
Wrap
go
up
get some
podcast.
food, and wrap it all up.
Yeah, Sage is hungry, and he acts like he's 70, but he's like 30 years younger than that.
I mean, I think
Fuck
we've
you
had.
all.
I
I'm
think,
1,000 years old. I have the wisdom of the ancient.
But
think,
anyways, so this does sound like a good spot where we're going to end it. So these podcasts will be roughly once a week when I get together with my homies, and we'll just joke and be silly as always. But with that said, thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and remember, most importantly of all, always love the Kelhound. You all take care now.
Held